Hey, how you doing today? Juan-O, welcome to Juan-O's World. Today is a very different type of episode of Juan-O's World. As you know, I'm not heavily into politics, but I'm becoming into politics because I realize how much they matter to me. Now, I know a lot of people are speaking about what's going on nationally, and that does matter. You never want to negate or look past that. But what really matters to you is your local government. And when you live in a city such as mine, like Detroit, where it's a major city, a whole lot of things happen. Anyone can get a ticket. Anyone could maybe find themselves in an incident. Anyone could have a problem, need to sue, all type of things. So who we have as judges in our city matters a lot. There's a legislative, there's a judicial, and there's an executive branch. Now, who we have interpreting and enforcing laws in our city has a major effect on how we live in our city. So me myself, as I was voting and looking for judges, I come across someone running for a judge who has had time as a defense attorney, a family court attorney, and several other different forms of law, and now is going into judgeship. Now, it really piqued my interest because as an individual growing up in a city like this, the few times that I've had to deal with court, be it for wrongdoing or wrong driving, which more so cases, um, everyone I encounter with has always been on one side of the law. And that doesn't make for such a fair experience to me. I can speak for myself for what I do for a living. Delivering every day gives me a jaded sense about things that I may see driving down the street. And it gives me the assumption that I automatically know what every driver is going to do or has done based on what I've seen. Now, it's most of the times that may be true, but it's not always true. And that is a major problem that we have in our judicial system. So that endeared me to this candidate that I'm about to bring to you. And I'd like to welcome to the stage Miss Vanessa Moss.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you.
How are you?
I am so happy to be in Wano's world.
And we are happy to have you.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Let me first say that my name is not on the ballot
Mm,
unless you write my name on a ballot. It is not a campaign. It is, in fact, a movement. A movement because, again, it's not a campaign. My name is not on the ballot. So,
mm.
first off, I want to explain to those of you that are in Wano's world why my name is not on the ballot. Because
Which
I
is
think
unfair.
talking about when you're talking about court, you're talking about transparency, right? You want
Okay.
people to be transparent. You
Yeah.
definitely want the person who is looking at your matter to be transparent. So full
Yeah.
transparency. And this is
Mhm.
how I see it from my perspective because I'm an attorney. I'm in the field every day. I'm a soldier. Okay.
Right.
So I collected 6,000 signatures for my name to go on the ballot.
Okay. That's a lot of signatures.
There's a lot of signatures. And
Whole lot.
I was out there along with a team of people out there. I mean, I was out there myself and I had people like, you the one who wants your name on the ballot. You out here getting your signatures? That's right. I'm out here getting my signatures. So,
Very personable. That goes a long way.
so I collected the signatures. I turned in 4,039 signatures. I only needed 2,000 because I'm running for 30, because I want to have the privilege of serving you as a judge in 36 District Court. So
Understood.
I turned in those and I was challenged. That means someone says her name should not go on the ballot because of X. So we've had a lot of controversy, especially in the city of Detroit. A lot of people didn't make the ballot because they said that the signatures were fraudulent, that they were bogus. That was not
Can I
my issue. That
can I
was
ask a question?
yes.
What gives somebody the right to challenge you?
Well, it's the look. Talk. I just heard your introduction. You talk about the legislation. The
Mhm.
legislature set up laws, legislation that says there are certain parameters that you have to meet in order for your name to go on a ballot to
Okay.
consider to be considered by the people to be elected. So in my case, you have to collect signatures. The signatures should not be fraudulent. Also, the caption on the top of the petition page has to be correct. In my case, my caption was correct, but they said because I didn't say non-incumbent on the top of the petition. Exactly. Because it said that my name should not go on the ballot. So I challenge people, listen, these are the kind of things because in fact, this is what they're saying to you. We don't give a doggone what 6,000 people say. We don't care that Vanessa went out there and 6,000 people said she deserves a shot
Right.
to sit on that bench. What
Right.
they said was, we're telling you who should be on the bench because she's been challenged because of this technicality, right?
So
And
would you say that's like a effort at limiting our choices?
that's exactly what it is. And actually, we're going to get into this. It not only is an effort, and it works. It works. What happens, and these are people that are running for judge. Okay.
Okay.
In my case, there's a guy who is a hired hand. People hire him to challenge people. So
Understood.
my thing is this: if I was that type of person to challenge somebody, I ain't gonna hide behind nobody
Right.
to take the heat.
So he didn't challenge you on the issues or policy or record or any of that.
Right. Exactly. I wouldn't do it because listen, I believe in listen, if I throw a rock, I'm not gonna have my hands. I'm gonna say, yeah, I did it. But that's not what happened. So I was challenged. They said your name doesn't go on. So I had to sit back and I had to decide whether or not I was going to let this sit. This didn't resonate in my soul. It really didn't. I said, you know what? I'll do it the other way. I'm going to do a write-in. Now, doing a write-in, is it met with challenges? Yes.
Yes.
But guess what? I'm a Black woman that was raised in the city of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Adversity is nothing new to me.
Right.
It's not.
You're also overqualified.
Exactly. Challenges is nothing new to me. And the fact that not only that am I a Black woman that was raised in the city of Detroit, educated in the city of Detroit, work in the city of Detroit.
Correct.
I do criminal defense. I do family law. I practice probate. I practice juvenile, which is neglect and abuse and delinquency cases. So if I'm in the courtroom every day, challenging and defending my clients, why wouldn't I accept the challenge? So I accepted the challenge. And so I'm asking people to do this because I have enough confidence in the people in the city of Detroit, once they hear what happened, that they say, you know what, let me look at this person. So this is what I'm going to say to you.
I'm listening.
You guys in Juan-O's world. How many times have we, and I'm going to include myself, even though it's not true for me, but I'm saying we as a people, how many times do we vote? And in this election, it's the presidential election. So we vote the top of the ticket, right?
Yeah.
Senator, Congress. And then you turn that battle around. How many of those people you don't know? Most of them.
Most of them.
How many times? Exactly, most of them. And how many times have you, I'm going to ask you a question. How many times have you voted for somebody just based on name recognition?
Too many times.
And how many times have you voted for people that the name just sounds nice? It's not, you don't even recognize it, but it got a nice ring to it.
As far as on the bottom part of the ballot, almost every time I voted. To be honest with you, this is my first year really scratching the surface, going to rallies and investigating people, their policies, and who they are. That's honest.
Okay. And so this is what I'm asking people to do. I'm challenging people to actually look at who you are selecting because, national matters, but local is very important. And local is very important. So 36th District Court, I consider it ground zero. I consider it the People's Court. That's what they call it, the People's Court.
Yeah.
I call it a triage because you get everything. You get landlord, tenant, you get collections, which is civil. You get criminal, you get traffic, you get everything. So you want somebody who not only has legal experience, and by the way, I have 26 years of legal experience, 23 years.
Get out of here. You don't look old enough to have that much
practice in law. 23 years of practice in law.
Oh,
what makes me different is that if you look at the 3 people that's on the ballot.
Okay.
Listen, I have had a career. This is not me trying to make a career out of sitting on the bench, right? I'm not trying to make a statement. I believe that God puts us on earth. You could call him God, Allah, um, the higher being, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
You're here to serve.
Right.
You servicing your children, you servicing your community. And I've been doing that. I represent the indigents. Okay. People can't afford to retain counsel. I'm that person. Okay.
Right.
So
I've seen that.
yeah. And so I think that Detroiters deserve to have someone on the bench that they've researched. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm an open book. Look, you either see me every week on YouTube because I have a YouTube show as well. It's called Detroit in Black and White. It's on every Saturday. We live. If people want to come down and participate, fine. If they want to make comments, they can.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the radio for 7 years, Detroit in Black and White. Okay, but you can check out my Ballotpedia page. You can also check out my personal Facebook page, or you could go on Vanessa Moss for 36districtcourt.com and check me out. But some of you people already know me because you know me from representing you, representing your family members, taking a phone call, out there doing expungement clinics, out there doing clinics for people who can't afford to hire an attorney because they need their child support reduced or they need a modification of parental time or something. I'm that person. You may have seen me out there just doing work in the community because that's what I do.
I've also gotten free legal advice from this lady as well. I have to add that in.
Right.
And so
because you know what, let me say this. Everything that I went to law school, I practiced, I got to eat like everybody else. I got to eat, I got bills to pay just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But you don't have, everything you do does not have to have a price tag to it. So if somebody asks me some questions and I can answer it if I can help, that's part of service. That's what I would do.
And I've also had my shoulder tapped by this lady as well to tell me not to do or to do something.
Absolutely.
And that is why I'm ingratiated to representing her. And I do have one question because you unloaded a whole lot. And the 3 people that are on the ballot, are they all incumbents?
No, this is I'm glad you asked that. So this is the non-incumbent section of the ballot. So when you vote, you're going to turn that ballot over and you're going to see it's a whole lot because it's the election season. You're going to see a whole lot. Listen, I want you to go to my side part first. Go to 36 District Court, the non-incumbent race. It's a 6-year term. There's 3 people named on the ballot, 2 women and 1 man. Mm-hmm. That part of the ballot, I need you to write my name under that 3rd name, Vanessa Moss, and darken that oval. So 36 District Court, non-incumbent, 6-year regular term, Vanessa Moss, VANESSAMOSS.
Is the way.
Yeah.
We're going to make it rhyme.
Oval. So I let me say this. I think that
hold on. I don't want to lose this because I know you're about to smoke it again. So all of these guys that are running against you are new to trying to be judged.
So
because I think I smell a rat here. Because if everyone is new and everyone had to go through.
I'm not gonna say everyone is new. What I'm saying is this. I'll just tell this. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't have nothing to lose. That's another thing.
Listen, you got something to win.
Exactly. So, truth be told, it was 6 people. It's 2 seats. It's 2 seats that's open. Okay, so it's no judge is sitting in the seat and somebody running against the judge. It's 2 seats that are open.
Okay. Now this is the part that
6 people. It was 6 people.
Okay.
Who filed petitions to be on the ballot.
Okay.
4 people out the 6 were challenged. Only 2 people were not. That was the 2 women that's listed on the ballot. Now, let me say this. I do criminal law. I practice criminal law. People are convicted every day on circumstantial evidence. Every single day.
Right.
Now, circumstantial evidence tells me How is it that 4 people were challenged and 2 were not?
And could you guys challenge somebody?
So I could have, but that's not the way I roll. I don't do stuff
Right.
like that. I don't even have time to do that.
So can you tell if there were those people who challenged
Look
everybody?
on the ballot. I said it's 2 women. Now the
Right.
guy that's on the ballot, and I'm not advocating for him. He was challenged, but he kept fighting it, and he
Right.
finally got his name back on the ballot. So people make their own decisions about whoever. All
Right.
I'm saying is, as far as I'm concerned, I deserve to be on the ballot. I don't care who you vote for. The other 2, I only there's 2 seats. I only want 1.
Right.
Okay, and
No, you deserve one.
I think no, I think Detroiters deserve to have me sit on the bench. And the
You're
reason I
absolutely
say that
correct.
is this: you deserve to have someone who has experience, not just legal experience, but life experience. Life experience makes a heck of a difference. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a story about Vanessa. Vanessa is Detroit's daughter. Grew up in the city, educated in the city, never went out of the city. I got my education at home. Okay. I got my legal experience at home. But by today's standard, I very well could have been a kid. Me and my siblings could have been a kid that was in the juvenile system, not for delinquency, but for neglect and abuse. My father was an alcoholic. Does that mean I hate my daddy? No, and he's deceased, God rest his soul. No, that means he had issues. Okay. My mom was a teenager. She was a high school dropout. Okay. And we moved from place to place. And and like so many Detroiters, we had feast and famine. Okay. My father was in the entertainment industry. So when it was good, it was good. When we was up, we was up. When we were down, we were down.
Right.
By the time I got to my senior year in high school, when I got to McKenzie High School, that was my
McKenzie.
McKenzie. When I got to McKenzie, that was my 7th school. 7th. So by today's standard, we could have, but I had grandparents who said, okay, Vanessa, you go come on over here and stay with us. And I caught the bus every day from the east side to the west side, from the west side to the east side. So if you were to drop me off today, I don't care where it is in the city of Detroit, trust me, I could find my way back home on the bus.
Right.
On the bus. But why is that important? That's important because
it sounds like you lived and learned every single level and department of the city.
Exactly.
From transportation to different financial levels, zip code, area code, the different schools. And it also sounds like you've been a fair judge of people and their position, as well as understanding the flaws in their character your whole life.
Absolutely. And let me say this, just because I do criminal defenses, I'm a parent too. Okay. Right. Because I do criminal defense don't mean that I believe that if somebody does something that they should not be accountable for their actions. But I believe you should be held accountable for your actions. But I also believe that there are mitigating circumstances in people's lives. I also believe that that's something you should take into consideration. I think that you should be fair. I don't think you should prejudge. If you look at the bench across the United States, I don't care what area of the law across the United States, but in particularly in the criminal court, you have mostly prosecutors. Justice is supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be fair, right? Right?
Yeah.
But if everybody have biases, let's be honest, all of us have biases. But as a judge, you're supposed to listen and follow the law, but you should have integrity, compassion, and empathy. And you know how that comes into play is by listening.
Yeah.
Fair. So I'm asking again that people write in Vanessa Moss. If they want to get to know Vanessa Moss, go on my website. You can look me up on Facebook. You can see me on YouTube on Detroit Black and White. But what I need for y'all to remember is to write Vanessa Moss. That's only one oval. It's still one other seat. It's still one other seat. I ain't advocate, but I'm telling you my story from my perspective. Right. That's what I do for a living. I tell my client's story from their perspective.
Right.
And from my perspective, that is what happened.
Right. And I've been on both sides as a client, because when Juan-O had his situation, I emotionally responded to something, And she was the first person on my phone to tell me to shut up. And she was correct. So I have one question for you to help ingratiate and help younger people who the ones that are not going to vote for the judge at all to understand how important you are and how important. Now, are you familiar with this Young Thug trial?
Oh goodness. So I'm in court every day. So I am familiar with it. And I would say this. I think it was very interesting that the defense attorneys, and they doing their job, has asked for a mistrial at least 3 times. That's how much I have not been keeping up with what's going on with the Young Thug trial. I think that I'm going to find it interesting if there's a guilty plea. That one witness, Woody, Lord Jesus, have mercy.
Yeah. He's turned the justice system on its head, and that's what. Now, people in my generation are kind of wondering. For one, why would prosecutors make deals like that with a known murderer? And two, with all of these improprieties that happen in front of the 3 different judges, why wouldn't they call a mistrial? Because this, don't make no mistake about it. I think this young man has committed crimes, but I think they overzealously tried to prosecute him. He was clearly guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. It was no reason to trump all those other charges on him. And I feel like by them overshooting, they made it a bad case. And as a judge in that, wouldn't it be on you to dismiss that and have them resubmit that?
So in all fairness, you asked me, have I been keeping up? I haven't been able to watch everything. Okay. So I, as a judge, you're supposed to what? What did I say? Listen and take everything into consideration. But I also said that the stuff that I've seen, and we know how sometimes the media, I mean, a lot of us do not trust the media because they skew things the way that they want to skew it. Yeah. Okay. But from what I've seen and what I've read, they've had several motions. And like I said, the defense attorneys are doing what they're supposed to do for a mistrial. Why the judges have decided that they're not going to do it, I have no idea. But this is the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. You want somebody that's on the bench that not just practice criminal law, because criminal right. come into 36th district, but somebody who's also experienced it. How did I experience it? My parents had 3 children. Mm-hmm. My youngest brother was murdered when I was in college.
Wow.
My brother that's next to me, he did some time. So you want somebody who knows about accountability or the lack thereof, right. Okay? And you want somebody who has compassion. Because there's mitigating circumstances as to why my brother found himself meeting the criminal justice system. Okay? Right. And so should he have been held accountable? Yes, but there were some mitigating circumstances that should have been taken into consideration. As far as the brother that was murdered, listen, the guy had a good defense attorney. He had some mitigating circumstances, and as much as I wanted him to be held accountable, listen, I understand how families feel when somebody they love has been taken away from this earth, and it doesn't make any sense to them, and that they're not being. I get it. So those are the kind of people that you want to sit on the bench. Listen, I could talk about what kind of grades I got, what I'm doing, and all that. I could talk about that. But people that come to 36th District Court want to know, listen, is my voice going to be heard? Am I going to be treated respectfully?
Right.
Respectfully. And is the person going to be fair?
Right.
And that's what you, and so you want somebody who has some experience that understands what it means to be treated respectfully, what it means to allow somebody to say what they have to say. You're going to have 5 million cases in court. And trust me, I'm a lawyer. So I'm like, look, I'm ready to, when they say, counsel, what you got to say? I'm ready to go and say what I need to say. But I also know what it feels like when they tell you, okay, counsel, I've heard enough. I don't want to hear anymore.
Right.
Or they don't let you speak at all. I'm talking counsel, blah, 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 blah. You trying to make a point. I get it. I understand because my situation is different than that person's situation. So I
Right.
understand that. And my feelings and my life is my life and my feelings. So that's the kind of person that you want to sit on the bench.
Right. So
My
you're fully prepared to ringmaster a circus or lead a trial, however it goes. You're fully prepared, and the register in your ear goes as high as Denise. Is it Denise Wilson or as low as Ann Nesby?
Yeah, when I get excited, people say I emote, I talk very loud. And as you can
Oh
see, I
no.
use my hands a lot. But absolutely. So I want those of you that are in Juan's world, I'm gonna do something that I do with everybody. Listen, you can you can call me on my personal cell. But what I want to ask that you do
I
is stay.
thought I was special.
You are special because your name is saved special. But you can send me. I should say call. You can text me if you so desire. You can text me, and I will send you guys the commercial. By the way, I'm on the radio. I have two commercials running on the radio: 92.3, 107.5. There will be a visual commercial that's coming out. But if you go to my page, you'll see my commercial. I have another commercial that'll be airing starting today on my social media page. But if you need to get in contact with me, you can text me, and you have to identify yourself. You can text me now. Listen, if you texted me something crazy, I will block you.
You
Okay.
know what? It's
Mhm.
a lot better for us to have people go to your YouTube page and become
Okay,
become
you know
members.
what? That's what you do. Just go
Yeah,
to DetroitInBlackAndWhite.com.
yeah.
DetroitInBlackAndWhite.com. Okay.
Because it's a lot easier to communicate, and I will be assisting. It
Okay.
will be a lot easier for us to communicate with you, to get things across to you, even if it's a personal message or instruction video. Because if she wants to, it might be 10 people that ask the same question, and we
Right.
can put a nice video together, share directly with you, and that way everybody gets the information pertinently. And what we don't want to do is put Miss Moss in an unrealistic situation because she's already fighting for us. So we don't want to tie her down. And what I want you to know is, well, she's going to win, but she's going to be working for the city and working for us regardless, like she's always been. And let's be clear, some of these other people are not moving and grooving in the city. And I would like to tell you everything is champagne wishes and caviar dreams, but it's just not that true. They're not moving around shaking babies and kissing hands, or is it kissing hands and shaking babies?
I don't know. All I know is, listen, all I know is yesterday I was on Gratiot at Triangle
Mm-hmm.
Hardware, talking to people. I was the day before that was on Gratiot and French Road. The day before that I was on Grand River
Mm-hmm.
and Wyoming area. I'm all over the city
Right,
because, like I said, I am Detroit's daughter. There's
right.
not a zip code that I'm afraid to go in. There's not an area that I'm not afraid to go in. And actually, there's not an area in the city of Detroit that I have not touched someone.
Good,
Southwest,
good.
northwest, northeast, west, east.
You know what's the most Detroit thing? You're doing all this all while running a full-time practice and a side job. That it doesn't get any more Detroit than that. And I see your people texting me. You have so many things to do. It was so great talking to you. You are so welcome in Juan-O's world. And if it was a beauty contest, no one could touch you. I promise. They couldn't. They couldn't. You would own the ballot. You
All
should
right.
own this one as well, because I couldn't think of nobody else I would rather write on a piece of paper right now than yours, but I will, and I'm gonna make sure as many thousands and thousands of people as I can get to do the same, to do the same.
Vanessa Moss, 36th District Court, non-incumbent race,
Mm-hmm.
6-year term.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and I appreciate your time.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you.